Okay, a loss. Smoke, it was a loss. But here's the thing, though. I didn't sign up to win a Carabao Cup. So the thing about this game, I'm looking at the performance and the particular things I want to see, because I want to talk about Hall. We're going to talk about Potter. I want to talk about Mount as well. And I want us to have a very honest conversation about Jack Grealish, because I think I've actually been attacked for what's been given about Grealish. But let me just talk about the game as a whole that I want to give it over to Smoke. So guys, remember guys, like the video, subscribe if you're new. Feel free to send in any Dubinskis and so forth, man. And look, because Chelsea are in a very, very bad position right now. We're not popping off. We're not glowing. And things aren't really connecting as normally as they should. And here's the thing. This is the case of like, oh, it's the second team, it's the first team. No. City's second team pretty much plays and dominates like their first team. The only difference is because it's the second team, they don't have the kind of finishers that their first team have, and Erling Haaland. Chelsea, I'll be real with you, the second team actually looks to actually be a lot more threatening than the first team. If Pulisic had a thing called a football brain, as I say, it's very simple. If Pulisic just had a football brain, Chelsea, that in that first half alone, Chelsea could have put in 1 or 2 goals up if Pulisic had a football brain. But this is what it is. Look, City is what it is. They are. I know Arsenal on top. City are still the best team in the league. So it is always going to be very hard to go up against a guy this good. It's always going to be very hard to go up against this good man. So I get it, I understand it, I respect it, I know what it is. But I still feel that as good as City are, as good as they are holding the ball, keep the ball, threading balls through, Chelsea could have still done better when they were in possession. I was impressed with Hall. Hall did really, really, really well. Here's the thing about Ziyech. Ziyech did a little bit of skill in the second half. That piece of skill that Ziyech did in the second half is way more than anything that Havertz and Mount have done in the last 12 months. And the time is still ticking. Chelsea have still not played as well as they played. Again, I think we're actually going up to a 1-year anniversary, the last time that Chelsea actually played well. And before I give it to Smoke, I need you just to be real. Because I got abused and insulted for a guy who cost 97.5 million. And I got abused and attacked for it. Grealish cost 100 mil. Now, Smoke, if I pay 100 mil for anything, I expect something. See, Smoke, if I pay 20 mil, okay. If I pay 35 mil, okay. Smoke, if I pay 100 mil for signing, I expect bells and whistles. I expect Jesus. I expect assists. I expect Salins. I expect Dino-esque. I expect Messi. I expect Demons, because 100 mil is 100 mil. For 100 mil, you can't give me simple passes on the overlap, little carry jobs here. Oh, a shot there. Smoke, can you, for the audience and for the jury watching, for the millions upon millions of people, for the millions upon billions of people watching this, can you admit that, yes, you won the game, yes, your Carabao Cup matches, but can you admit that Grealish played well today, but you overpaid for him, and he is not worth 100 mil.
Overpaid, yes. HH. The reality is, right. I don't. I hardly believe there's many players who are worth 100 million in reality, right?
Bale was worth 100 mil for Real Madrid. You
Yeah,
don't
but
think so? So you don't think Pique Messi was worth 100 mil?
Messi. I'm saying there's only a few players
Pique
who are
Hazard,
worth.
Pique Hazard.
Yeah, but HH. What I'm saying. Yeah, but still, it aligns with what I'm saying. There's only a few players who are worth that much. At the end of the day, when a club doesn't have to sell, at the end of the day, HH, it was a release clause, right? It's either you pay or you leave, right? Now the thing is, people don't understand the role or the circumstances Jack Grealish came into City. Grealish wasn't meant to be a winger when Pep was buying him. Bernardo was supposed to leave that summer, right? So Grealish was meant to be a hybrid of a 8-10 who can drift out wide, right?
Mm.
That was his purpose, and his main purpose is ball retention, not losing the ball, and that's what he done at Villa, whereby he took the ball and he drove Villa up. Right? People act as if
But okay, I mean, I know that's cool, but that's not. But why pay 100 mil for that? Because
but
100
HH.
mil is your superstar. And also, and Smoke, if you say it and everything, but if you're the number 10 and so again, I'm not hating on City. Look, let's be real here. This is not me hating. City played well, Greece played well, City deservedly won, and we're going to talk about all the millions upon millions of issues that Chelsea have. All I'm saying though is that he cost 100 mil, and people
Yes,
attack me for Lukaku who cost 97.5.
but that's Queen Lizzie tax. HH.
Yeah.
If Lukaku was English, right, and you bought him for 97 mil, we're like, yes, Queen Lizzie tax. But this guy is not English, so what tax are you putting on Lukaku? That's because the thing is this, HH.
Top scorer in
Really?
Serie.
No, no. Let me ask you a question, HH.
He led Inter Milan to Serie
No,
title.
no, no, I'm saying as trash as Mount is, right?
Mm.
If he was to be bought, he's going over at least 70 million. Look at Basmati rice. Look at the figures that have been quoted around him. Is he with those numbers? No, he's not. By the end of the day, King, no, not King Charles tax. It will always exist, HH. We have to make peace with it. The thing is, did we overpay for him? Yes. Right.
Mm.
That but now the thing is, at the end of the day, as much as he doesn't give us that, I think it would be a problem if no one around him is scoring or assisting. Then now, because people, you still have a De Bruyne, you still have a Haaland, you have a Foden, you have whatnot. It's easy for him to go under the radar. It's more like, okay, you just do what you do, and
Mm.
and as long as you're not getting in the way of the other guys, and they're still producing. Whereby in any other team, there would be question marks, right? Like, okay, dude, we
Oh
bought
no,
you
no.
as the leader.
I think that's the key thing. See, for me, I don't ignore it because for me, I look at every single thing. I think because City are playing so well and everybody is scoring, assisting, and everything. People are like, oh no, it's fine. But I'm like, wait a minute, no, 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 no. Because for me, I see, I'm one of those guys that I check the receipts. I check, I check everything, the pennies, I check everything. So I'm like, wait a minute, no, 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 hold on. I know City look good. They look amazing. Everyone is popping off and so forth. And I saw how good City are in the second half. But I'm like, Grealish, what has he actually done since he's been at City? So we're now in. Is this the second or the third year? I think this is the second year now.
Second, yeah.
So your second year now.
And he has bad luck, HH. I think Almiron cursed that guy because every time he shoots, HH.
Wait. Almiron is almost on double figures. Ever since he said that, Almiron is almost on double figures right now, and I don't think has Grace registered a goal or an assist this season
Yeah,
yet.
yes, he has a goal.
One goal, cool.
HH. This guy has bad luck, right? We know it's either the keeper saves or he hits the pole. Like this guy. So, but now the thing though, what I still like about Grealish is because his game is just more than assists and goals, right? He
Mm.
holds the ball in tight moments when we need someone to. So he gives us more than that. If all he gave us, for example, it's like a Mahrez. If Mahrez doesn't score assist, he's on the bench.
Oh
You see
yeah,
what I'm trying to say? He
but he's
tracks
still a
back.
damn good free kick taker, though. I mean, I know De Bruyne scored that crazy free kick against
Yes.
Fulham, but because it's
Yeah.
always funny that free kick, it reminded me of I think it was the 2019 AFCON Algeria against
Yes.
Nigeria and so forth. Shades of that,
No,
man. So
Mahrez is still one of those guys whereby he has magic on his feet. Like you can't hate him, although he's not as fast as he used to be. At the end of the day, class is permanent, HH, and you see it, right?
No, but I think the thing with Mahrez is, look, he's gone off form, and it's hard
Yes,
for him to hold on a place. But that's why when you look at Mahrez, that's why you always have to still respect him, because even if a guy's
yes,
out of form and everything, who was the guy that scored? Who was the guy that almost got you into that UCL final last year? It was Mahrez.
matters.
That
Yes,
left foot in the
yeah.
right position
Well,
out of nowhere can just produce something magical, and you have to still always respect that. And I think when it's our smoke, let's now come to the guys in blue. When it now comes to Chelsea right now, see, Smoke, I'm confused here
HH, I need
because
to
Smoke,
correct you first, HH, before you
yes,
go
sir.
any further. That wasn't your second team, HH. I can read the name of the players who are on that pitch. You probably had 2 second team players. Everyone else there, HH, starts in for you weekend. That was your back line, right? But shout out to Lewis Hall. That kid, right? Shout out to Lewis Hall,
Yes,
right?
he should have scored. I mean, like, he played
No,
very
no, but
well, but probably should have
HH,
scored.
Ortega's underrated. You know, this guy had the most saves in the Bundesliga last season. And Haaland has never scored
Wait,
against
wait,
him.
wait, 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 wait. Where did he come from?
The team got relegated last season, right?
Okay, okay, or maybe it was Stuttgart or something.
Yeah. So, but this guy had the most saves in the Bundesliga, right? Haaland has never scored against this guy.
You see now, Smoke. Let me now before we get also, Edison isn't the same Edison as it was years ago.
He was never a
We
shot
know
stopper.
that guys are play with the feet. Is there a case where maybe this guy can have, because the commentator said something about how, like, does Edison have to favor his place? And they said, no, he doesn't. I said, but wait a minute. There have been a lot of times where Edison has just had to make one save and he's failed to make that save. This guy has shown that he can make saves. So if we're saying to ourselves that Edison, okay, all you're providing is you can provide with your feet, which I feel is overrated, because a keeper's first port of call is how good are you as a last line of defense. Everything else is extra. So my thing though is there a case of where Ortega can actually really, Pep should
HH,
really look at him? Because wait a minute, this guy could literally
HH.
win us a game in a UCL by making a crucial save that Edison can't make anymore.
I want to say, in a UCL final, HH, this guy wins us a game. Because today, HH, there were saves whereby with Edison, it's a clear goal, especially
Yes.
1v1. So this guy, HH, he gives that some. I don't know if you've ever seen Ellison in goal. There's this sense of calmness, even if it's a 1v1, that this guy could make a save. And HH, that first one, when they dragged that right back on the ground, I was like, this is it.
Oh,
And then
you mean the one that Mahal had?
yeah,
See,
HH,
see, see, now, here's the thing. You see, for me, I can always tell whenever it's good saves or not bad saves. I'm not going to look that as a good save. That was bad from a Hall. He made it very easy. The
but
one with Pulisic
yes.
and the second Hall one, those are great saves.
No, what I like about
Those,
this guy, HH,
those two in the second half, those are great saves.
I think the sense that he made himself big, like he didn't.
Yeah, you know what?
You see,
Yes,
most
yes,
people,
yes.
it's like an Edison. He goes to ground, so he makes it easy for the attacker. Whereby this guy waits until the last moment and then he commits,
And then he spreads himself. He makes himself a
that's
massive
signs of
target.
of a very good keeper.
No,
Whereby
no, okay, look, Chelsea. Let's see. Here's my thing. As you said, that's supposed to be the second team. But
it's not.
Smoke, the first team is still crap. Smoke, people of the audience, did you see what Mans did? Did you see when Mans tried to dribble? He tripped over himself and the ball went out for a throw in. Smoke, this is supposed to be like our playmaker, our number 10, and our creator. So, and this is Smoke, this is my danger here, and this is my danger with Potter. I think Potter is blinded by the names. Sterling, Mounts, Aubameyang. He's blinded by the names. So because for him, these are apparently better players than the ones he had at Brighton. But Trossard is better than Chelsea's entire attack. Trossard, the guy he was coaching before, as a player and a talent, is more talented and better than Chelsea's entire attack. So my issue is Potter still blinded by these names who he's not managed before? Therefore, he's not going to actually be aggressive in the January market? Or does he realize that, these guys are not good? These guys are not very good. Havertz and Mount, these guys are crap. Pulisic doesn't have a brain. So my thing is that, does he realize that this team needs an entire makeover? Or is he just a slave to these names that he hasn't coached before? What say you?
HH. we've said it since the beginning. At the end of the day, I see a David Moyes situation in the sense that
That's my
you
fear.
have
That's my
you have
fear.
a coach who's never really had to handle big egos. People think managing is just about football. No, it's not. Right. If I bench you, right, and you are a well decorated player, I need to have the confidence to be like, no, this is why I'm benching you, and I have a guy who will come in and do a better job than you and whatnot. Now you have a guy who's never. What has this guy won HH in England? He's never even won a Karibuki Cup. Hence, I think staying in this cup was actually important for you because had you see like Tuchel, right? Tuchel came in, won all the champs the first season.
Mm.
So next season, right, when he's making braver decisions, at the end of the HH, your players have to believe in whatever the hell you're selling. Because they'll be like, dude, that works at Brighton, not here.
Yeah.
And and what's your comeback? Because you've never been at another club at at the level of Chelsea where you've came in, changed a toxic situation, and got results. Because at the end of the HH, teams in the top, all they care about is results and outcomes.
It's just it's
You
results. But
understand?
no, but you know what? This is my fear because I want to bring in Ederson, but this is my fear. So I saw Blue Lions TV, massive Chelsea channel and everything, a friend of mine. He had a video, and his video was it's time that we trust in the process. So my danger is Potter is like, oh man, I'm good. Because my thing is that you could even at one point Potter was like smiling and laughing, and basically at the beginning of the game, Potter was laughing and smiling. I said, wait a minute, do you know we are on a losing run? One win in five, and this guy is joking. He looks relaxed. So my fear is that Todd Bowley has told him that as long as you don't get us relegated, this is a process. Hey kid, go out and just have fun. So I think Potter is just vibes. So it doesn't
HH,
really matter for him. And my danger is that no, Potter, I don't know what you think or what you got told. You Chelsea is the team that wins that loses 5 or 6 in a row. That ain't happening on my watch.
HH. The problem is this: most people don't understand things about processes. Is this you can only implement a process at a team that hasn't won in a long time, right? Let me give you an example. Let's say Pep leaves this season.
Mm.
The next coach that comes next season, we expect results. You can't put us in a process because we've been winning,
No,
right? But
no.
hence at Arsenal or even at United, because they haven't won anything for a very long time. They can't really be like, okay, but hey,
No,
they
no,
have
no,
nothing
no,
to
no, no. So
fall on.
small, perfect example, small, perfect example. What happened when Moyes came? Now, I felt Moyes deserved to have a summer. What happened when Moyes came in? He didn't even have a transfer summer. First season, you're out because that was the guy who followed into Fergie's footsteps. Insult Tuchel only once, and beat him only once. He won a UCL. He got to two finals that were lost via penalties. Two finals that's where we outplayed Liverpool but lost those via penalties. As much as I wanted him to be sacked, he still went to two finals and he won a UCL. You can't go from that to process. No, Potter, the guy you're following won a trophy and got to two finals. So you now losing games every left, right, and center doesn't make any freaking sense. So I don't know how you because my thing is that Smoke, this team has a lot of problems. A
Yeah.
lot of problems. And
Mm.
we are seeing the massive gap in quality between City and Chelsea because I don't know what guys were because guys in the halftime space said that Chelsea actually played, they played well. I said, wait a minute. Oh, they played well in comparison to Sunday. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's fine. You can say they played well in comparison to Sunday because on Sunday Chelsea were garbage. Chelsea had one shot on target. So saying that Chelsea played well in comparison to Sunday means nothing because on Sunday you had one shot on target and 5 attempts in 90 minutes. So the bar is so low. People are championing that first half performance and championing Hall. Smoke, I can't deal with that, man. Smoke, I
The worst,
speak fluent
HH,
Shield and fluent trophy, yo.
you know what's worse? You guys might be at a if you go into a process now, you might end up at Ateta lows, whereby you're aiming for 2-8 finishes and then a fifth. Because sacking Tuchel was okay, but
Mm.
bringing in Potter was wrong. Because at the end of the day, I think you could have planned Potter's signing a few years down the line. Like, okay, let's try and maintain being competitive We don't have to win anything, but just be there, right? So you get something to build on. So, but by the time you bring in Potter, the fan base, they're a bit more calm, especially with expectations. Because the issue now, they're suffering from very high expectations.
Yeah. Okay, wait. So before I come to it, let me just take this Dubinsky's ban. Shout out to your boy Blue Ortega for the UCL Knights clutch goalkeeper. Bro, I think Pep needs to think about this, man, because bro, this guy has made it really arguments that bro, I'm here, I can make key saves. And I think because what it is, see, if you're a keeper for let's say peak Barca, ban and so forth, it's about concentration. Because you know that you're only gonna have like 3 shots on targets against you because the team keeps possession loss. So can you maintain your concentration, be lively, and when you're called upon, save what's up? Because you're only going to have 3 or 4 shots to save because of how much possession they keep. And from what this guy showed, this guy made some, again, as Smoke says, saves that Edison wouldn't make. Zeno, West African tax on that free kick, we're down bad. Look, here's my thing. Kepa wouldn't have saved that. I think basically, let's be real. Koulibaly
Yeah,
knows.
that was well placed. That was well
No,
placed.
yeah, no, too much power.
Over
Koulibaly
the
would mess up.
wall?
Bro, that wasn't the wall. That was just a bunch of guys standing together, man. That was not the wall. Hey, let's talk to me about what do you make of this City Chelsea game, man?
Looking at this game, I thought Manchester City dominated most of the game. But even though Chelsea were on the front foot, they had more chances. I thought Chelsea could have. This game could have gone completely different if they finished their chances, because Chelsea had some very good chances. I believe it was 2 or 3 where Pulisic and there were some very good saves from Ortega, where the result could have been completely different. Where even though Chelsea's not playing well, they're still in the game. It's just down to who was more clinical, who finished their chances. Man City had their chances and they finished them. Details determine who goes through.
How, just from the answer, then, how bad are Chelsea? I mean, how problematic is the Chelsea issue? How many players need to go? How do we solve this? And how do I not try and clean my eyes out with bleach watching Chelsea each week, man?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's tough because when you look at the team in general, I think they do have a lack in quality. But at the same time, in the summer previously, I believe it was 280 million euros was spent. Is that the correct figure?
Yeah, well, something like that.
I don't know. Still, if you spend that much amount of money and the team isn't where it should be, isn't competing with Manchester City or the likes, then it's poor recruitment. But then I was also look, hey, at the start when Potter came in, you got some very good results. The results could have been deceiving, but I believe this little stretch is where they're just going through a bad patch. Every team goes through a bad patch, and unfortunately, this is Chelsea's like bad patch of the season. Because
but Elias, I hope it's a bad patch, and I hope it's not a. It's not. I hope we don't do an Arsenal.
Well,
because Elias, I can't go 3 years without seeing a trophy, bro. I didn't sign up for that, bro. I didn't sign up for that.
Well, this is why the January transfer is like super important, because this is the opportunity for Chelsea to make more signings and like add to the team and bring in quality to make sure, hey, make sure we get up there in the Premier League table, and we show improvement. And on top of that, with this little month and a half that we're gonna have from a break, Potter's gonna have time to work with his players and basically reinforce his ideas, train these players to see what he likes, see what he doesn't like, see how the team responds to his taxes, and then he can change. Because remember, Potter came in with no preseason; he came in like right into the fold, and so this is going to be a very good period for Chelsea to basically work on things and see how to improve the team.
But HH, let's be honest, HH.
Yeah, go for it.
I think one thing I give to Tuchel, right? As much as he played like terrorist football, is he made Chelsea difficult to beat, right? And that's something that a good manager does, right? Because you can't. You guys have like 200 defenders, right? But you can still compete. Right. So then the question is, do you go into January and buy more defenders?
No, smoke. If Chelsea buy another defender, then I'm going to Tottenham Police office and say, look, mate, what's up? Basically, Chelsea are banned from buying any more defenders for at least 2 more windows. All I want to see are attackers and midfielders walk through that door. But actually, very briefly, Tottenham and Arsenal. Because someone sent me something, and I want to just shout out what someone sent me. But before I actually do, because it's about Tottenham, but let's just do that. See, Arsenal, I don't think this is so big an issue. It's an extra trophy. It's an extra amount of fixtures. It's more this distraction, and I think their focus should mainly be on the Premier League. I think with their focus mainly on the Premier League, them losing this whole thing, it's not that really big a deal. So I think for Arsenal, I'm like, Carabao Cup, rather win the FA Cup, rather try and go for the Premier League or solidify that top four, and then Europa League, we'll see what happens. So that's not big there. But here's where it's a bigger issue. So let me just pull this up. So shout out to the guy who sent this to me in the DM. I want to read this out to you guys. So, Tottenham Hotspur sacked a manager a week before a cup final. That manager then went on to end another club's 14-year trophy drought, whilst Tottenham are now being eliminated from it by a team that was in the championship last season. Karma is a B, isn't it? Hope this helps. Did Conte get the memo that you're not winning the league? You're not winning the Champions League. And the FA Cup is the cup trophy that teams take seriously. The Carabao is where you play the test tube babies and the orphans up until, let's say, the semi-final. So your chance of just winning a trophy, what Tottenham claim, was this. So you losing this and coming out of this, where is the trophy? Because homeboy, our dear friend, Mourinho got to that final, and that piece of crap loser, Levy, sacked him before. Here's the thing. City would have been favorites. Of course they'd have been favorites. At least let him play the final. Then sack him. Let him, because it is so mind-bogglingly crazy what that clown Levy did to Mourinho. I'm like, how do you sack a guy before a final that he took a team to? Like, how does that make sense? Because you're almost, even if you hate the manager, he's the worst thing. You don't change a manager before the final, let alone it's the side chick guy that puts out the cones. Mason that took out that took that game in the final. You think that sideshow is gonna have a strategy to beat City in a final? Are you stupid? So my thing is that for Tottenham, you've screwed yourselves. Like,
that was
Tottenham,
a business decision, HH. Because
what was it, a business decision?
Firing Mourinho in the sense that if Mourinho won the cup, there were clauses in his contract that if he won a cup,
makes it even worse. Makes it
bonuses.
Pay the man. Makes it even worse. See, so, look, if that's true, it makes it even worse. So you're saying that you were hoping that he didn't win a trophy because you'd have to pay him.
Yeah.
It makes Levy, bro. If I see you, I slap you in the face. Like, if I see you, I slap you straight in the face.
This is what you get when you don't have football-loving people running your club and people who are businessmen. That's why Bram got shot to the heights. And even with us,
Smoke, man, I miss him, man. Smoke, I miss Bram, man. I miss that guy, man. Eminence. So talk to me. Your thoughts on the game, man.
You know what? I didn't actually watch the game.
Okay.
I just saw the highlights.
We lost 2-0. No, but let me say, so basically we lost 2-0. City dominated. Hull played well. Chelsea had a few good chances, and Mount tried to dribble and almost injured himself. So that's the main highlights of the game. But talk to me.
Man. Why?
No, I'm sure Twitter must have a gif of it and everything. So
now,
that's your star boy.
I've seen. It's not my star boy, man. I don't know that guy, man.
Okay.
I've just seen the highlights. You know what? Actually, we actually did all right, man. We created a few chances, but the goalkeeper, I think Ortega, yeah, he did well. He did well, man. And Lewis Hall,
he made some great saves.
Listen, Lewis Hall should have scored, man. He should have scored that chance from Pulisic. I don't know what he was doing. So, listen, I don't think this is.
But you sent me something in the DM, and I want you to explain. You said, look at the bigger picture. You're happy with the defeat. Explain this.
No, listen. We're happy with, when I say happy, I don't mean it's good. Like we should lose any game. But what I'm saying is now Potter has less fixtures to worry about, and for me, you need more time in training than to implement your ideas, because you can play all the games all you want. If you don't actually train well, there's no like you're not going to see the the results in the game. So I feel like now with less fixtures going into next year, there's more chance of Chelsea because I'm looking at top four.
Do you believe in Potter? Are you still behind Potter? Do you believe in Potter's project?
Of course, man. Of course, like you have to give him time.
Of course. Oh,
yeah. You have to give him time, Richard. Like, you can't be impatient, man. You have to give him time. Listen, he's been there for 3.
So basically, no trophies in 2 years. Trust in the process. What's it? Tip. Trust in Potter. Tip. No trophy in 2 years. Tip.
HH. Listen, you have
I
to
asked you a
give
question.
him...
I asked you, if we don't win a trophy in 2 years' time, are you still trusting the process? Give him time.
It depends on how we don't win the trophy. Like, if the football's still bad, like it's really bad, and there's no sign of progression, then maybe sack him. But right now, give him time. Like what I'm hoping now with this whole going out from Carabao Cup is that we can see some good football. Like I want to see improvements in these players. But the problem for me is that we still have bums like Pulisic, bums like Mount, bums like Havertz, and we need to go out there and buy maybe 1 or 2 players in January because this squad. Listen, today, we didn't play amazing, but I saw some signs that we could actually do something if we give him more time in training. So I'm hoping that this, like I said before, having this break, coming back from the World Cup, we'll have a lot more. What do you call it? He implements ideas a lot more.
I have a question. Do you have faith in Todd Bowley to basically bring in the proper reinforcements in January? Because
no, I don't have faith in Bowley. But the thing is, he's looking to bring in like a director of football and people that know football. But the thing is, I don't trust him to bring in the right people. That's my worry. Like, I don't know if you agree, but that's
the moment I heard him say that they are putting faith and focus in data analysis, I knew that was an issue. Let's take City for instance and so forth. Pep has his team and everything. I'm sure they use data, but Pep comes from the Cruyff school, which is the school from the Dutch team of the 70s. So beyond all the data and everything, there is a type of footballer that he wants. You have to be good on the ball, excellent passer, be able to walk in tight spaces and be very smart on the ball, where you know what you're going to do before the ball comes to you. So these are all traits that says that this player must have these kinds of characteristics because this is the kind of football I want. You can't, for Todd Bowley, beyond all the data, what is the footballing philosophy? Of course, data is key because data, that just adds a bit more meat to the bone. But the bone is which is why everyone Chelsea said that Sarri should have had the foundation 4-3-3.
Thank you.
Sarri
was the guy for Chelsea.
A simple example is Jorginho passes the stats test, right? But if you actually watch him, it's side passes and back passes. That's the problem with numbers.
The thing about Jorginho is Jorginho was a Sarri guy, and you know what Jorginho is? Jorginho only works where the team controls possession. Exactly. So in Sarri's system, his system relies on high control possession.
Man. That was perfect.
Jorginho, you just sit there in the 4-3-3, but the other 2 in that 3, they're the mobile guys. They're the guys that are doing much of the leg work. The issue you now have is you don't have possession, and Jorginho is now required to now make those key passes and now say what's up, which he can't do because he's a limited player. So the problem that Chelsea have. So Elias, to answer your question is, again, even look for Barcelona because it's all connected to Pep. At Barcelona, there is a type of footballer that Barcelona wants to bring in because there's a type of football that Barcelona players that Barcelona want to play. The issue now for Todd Bowley, what is the type of footballer that you want? It can't just be raw data. It has to be the type of footballer has nothing to do with numbers. It's a footballing philosophy thing that isn't mathematics. You see, the stats thing has nothing to do with the way that you play football. The way you play football, that's an eye test thing. Yeah.
But the problem is with Bowley, for Bowley now, as someone doesn't know football, how are you going to know what to do, the players to bring in? That's the problem. This is the key issue and so forth.
See, I don't know. Arsenal just got lucky in they got Arteta, who obviously has what Pep has shouldered him with. But maybe that was the key thing that because Arsenal, I know those cronkies, they don't know anything about football, but they're like, this Pep guy seems to know a lot. People say he's good. Who's around him that we can just nab? Oh yeah, he used to work at Arsenal. Let's maybe get him. So I think they sort of mistakenly fell into Arteta. The issue with when you look at Abramovich or you look at the Sheikh Mansour, they are football fans.
Yeah, true.
They like football. They understand football. So they understand the kind of people to bring in and how they want their team to look. Todd Bowley, of course he doesn't
Because
want football.
the thing,
Of course he doesn't understand what the hell for football is. Of course. He's a now. Of course he understands the NBA and everything, and here's the key thing: you can't bring the NBA mentality to football. NBA, that's my second favorite sport, but I recognize that NBA stats is very important. Stats in NBA is very important. In football, stats is only half the story.
What this reminds me of is, for example, like Busquets. Like Busquets under a Pepsi system, if you basically like watch the game, if you watch the game in the whole, you don't know it's Busquets. But if you watch Busquets, you see the entire game. He basically controls them. Like when you see Busquets' stats, his stats aren't that impressive. But he's so vital to how the team plays that this is why he starts for this team. So, for example, this is why when you look at players to buy, you have to think, how does Potter want to play? You have to buy players that fit his system. Not, for example, the player that has the best stats in that position, because that player might not work.
It's because it's a point that Smoke made, because again, Smoke was key. The whole Moist thing. If you're used to a certain kind of player and you're playing at a certain level where any achievement is great, nothing is expected of you, and you now move to a top team, do you know that, oh yeah, let me get that Brazilian, or let me get that Argentine, let me get that dude? Because you're so used to, fourth is such a huge thing that it's different. But now, if let's say you're a Mourinho who you've just won a Champions League and you had Deco in your team, you're a Ancelotti who you've been successful with AC Milan, you're a Sarri who you had a Napoli, a Higuain who scored 36 goals and you almost beat Juve to a title. When you now give them on, you now know that, oh yeah, I need 80 million on that guy. I need 70 million on that guy. My issue with Potter is, yes, he did good with Brighton. All because he did good with Brighton doesn't mean that you know the kind of players to bring in for Chelsea and know how to take Chelsea to the next level.
And
Moise, all because you did well with Everton and so forth doesn't mean that you now know how to go to United and know how to bring in the Moise. I forgot. Moyes brought in, what's the guy with the afro? The Belgian
Fellaini. Yeah.
Everywhere he went.
Yeah.
But hey, you see, this is my...
So the key thing, we will know what Potter is made of by the kind of players he brings in January. Because does he have an international global understanding?
This is
Larry. This is my worry with Potter. Yeah, I feel like he's a yes man where Bowley comes in and says, "Oh, it's Ronaldo. How about Ronaldo? Do you like him? Yeah, bring him in." I'm like, listen, that's not gonna work. I need Potter to be brave enough to say to him, "Look, this is what I want. Go out there and get me this." But isn't that someone that you tell him to? You suggest Ronaldo. Be like, "Oh, you know what? Bring him in. I don't mind Ronaldo." But
is Bowley gonna have full faith in Potter? Because, for example, if Potter has some more bad results and he gets the player that he wants, and he's not getting the results, is Todd Bowley going to sack him? And then what? You just
that's what I'm. Listen,
we don't. For me, Todd Bowley has backed himself into a corner because this is your guy.
Yeah,
you sacked Tuchel, you brought in Potter, so it's okay. So it's going to look bad on Todd, because remember, him sacking Tuchel was not a popular decision. I wanted him to be sacked, but that was not a popular decision among Chelsea fans. So he has to back Potter.
And also, they give him a 6-year deal with 12 million a year. So 12 million a year is.
I want to quickly talk about, but before we run, so Elias, again, outside in, you're not in the Premier, outside in.
Yeah.
Jack Grealish, what's your assessment on Jack Grealish, the player? Keeping in mind that he cost 110 million.
Yeah, that's a lot of money. And in context, they could have signed Messi, and because just like they signed Grealish the day that Messi announced that Barcelona announced that Messi was not continuing with Barcelona. So that's like a huge missed
Thank
opportunity.
Elias, thank the Lord, man. No one wanted Messi at Man City.
Imagine Messi feeding Haaland. Imagine
no,
De Bruyne
no,
and
Elias,
Messi.
Dennis, it's game over. It's game over.
It's game over. But back on Grealish. I think 100 million is a lot for that type of player, especially if when he's not delivering the stats that or like the goals and assists that usually come with an 100 million pound player.
It is. Move goals and assists to one side. Let's just say we're not counting goals and assists. In terms of influence in a game.
Exactly. There's more to a player than just goals and assists. You have to think, how does he play in that system? Is he vital to that team? And today I thought he played very well. He gave some good performances. He made some very good runs. And it wasn't for some key blocks from Koulibaly. I think he could have gotten a goal or two.
No. He played well. But I'm just saying in overall.
Overall, exactly. I think Man City massively overpaid for him, but he is a very good player.
Can I give us
Are we being too harsh on Grealish?
100 mil. I assess you
because
when he costs 100 mil, harsh doesn't come into it. If he costs 40 mil, hey, no, keep it on everything. 100 mil, oh no, I'm harsh.
Because
I'm
the way I'm looking at it is that Man City's system, is very unique in the sense that Pep demands a certain standard from players. You don't have to score assists to be in Man City's system, which is why I feel like when I watch Grealish, I see what he does, what he adds to the team, and other people might not see it, but for me, he wins a lot of fouls, and I don't know how to put into, but he does. He's very effective. He's very effective.
I'm watching the games that you watch, and for 100 mil, I need more than winning fouls.
But let me
wait.
Give a final note.
Smoke. I have a question for you. Yeah. Is Grealish an indisputable starter for this Man City team? Does he start every game?
Yes, he starts almost every big game.
Okay, for example, if you play Real Madrid, for example, tomorrow, is Jack Grealish going to start?
It will be Haaland. I'm giving you the front line. The front line will be Haaland, Foden, and Grealish.
Okay.
Okay. So Silva's on the bench.
Yeah.
No. Silva plays in midfield. Then in midfield you have Rodri, Bernardo, and Silva.
Where's De Bruyne?
Rodri, De Bruyne, and Silva in midfield.
Oh, Rodri, De Bruyne.
And then Gundogan.
So Gundogan doesn't play
off the bench.
Okay.
So in the big game, you pick between Gundo and Rodri. You normally see one of the two. You won't see. What I was about to say is this: HH. There's certain teams whereby for you to shine or to have a bigger impact, you need to be a super or once in a generation. If you go into Madrid midfield, HH, it's going to be very hard for you to have a bigger influence than a Modric. Similar to us, to our midfield, right? You're not going to outshine in terms of big game moments. You must see who he's going up against, right? So it's not too easy. Because at the end of the day, HH, I still believe in a matter of time, Grealish will be playing in the midfield for us. Watch next season.
Let me just say this one, then we'll round us off. Your boy Daddy Usman. Chelsea holding Potter back. Potter got testing skills. What?
How does that make sense, man?
Wait, Potter got testing skills though. Chelsea Russian assets. Daddy Us, maybe I think you need to take your pills and so forth. So if I go, Smoke, are you going to win? Because Eminence, you want to say something? Talk to me. Eminence.
I just want to say, can Man City give us Alvarez, man? We need Alvarez.
No.
They have Haaland. They have Haaland. Give us Alvarez, man.
No,
Smoke?
And we actually bought. We bought Alvarez.
What if we give you Mount?
Yeah.
Mount is he's English.
HH, you can give us Mount. You can give us Cocaine Gallagher. You can give us Havertz. We do not care. HH. We gave you Sterling. Like, what more do you guys want? We gave you Sterling.
No. Smoke, I still have the receipts. Smoke, that's a faulty product. We have a receipt, and he said there's a 6-month money back guarantee.
But HH is an English international. HH, we gave you an English international.
Smoke, our product is faulty. We would like that thing back. Sorry, the product is faulty, bro. The product is faulty. Like, it's not. Guys, I'm sorry. Sterling is crap. I'm sorry. The guy's crap. The guy's crap. He ain't it, man. Guys, so look, man. Let's get out of here, man. So, guys, we'll be back here on Friday. Okay, Eminence, Newcastle. Eminence, are you going to watch the Newcastle game, or are you going to?
Yeah. No, listen.
You're going to watch the game like. So
but you know what?
So you're excited for the game. You're like,
but you know what?
yeah, Newcastle.
Nah,
Yeah, let's go, man.
Chelsea are losing.
Is Sadio Mane injured?
Chelsea are losing 3-1.
Oh, yes, you didn't hear?
No, I just saw it right now. He's apparently out for the World Cup.
He's out of the World Cup. He's out.
Dang.
Yeah, he's out.
Actually, this World Cup is cost, It's actually cost.
Yeah, no. Look, I mean, all I'm saying is that if Messi gets injured this weekend, I think the whole world will collapse.
I don't think he's playing. I doubt he's gonna play.
You see, that's my thing. See, if you're smart, Mbappe, Neymar thingy, fake an injury.
Actually, after what happened to Mane, I wouldn't start.
Yeah, no. Basically, for me, like, if I'm any of those guys, I'm like, I'm playing, bro. I'm not playing.
Like CR37, I'm dipping home.
So guys, we'll be back on Friday. We'll be previewing the Newcastle game. I'm pretty much previewing because the mid-season ends this weekend. Yeah. So next weekend is the World Cup. So we're going to be previewing the end of the season. So we'll be back here on Friday, man. So Smoke, Eminence, Elias, and Potter. This is the only thing I'm going to say for you. I back you and so forth. But if we finish outside of the top 4 with no trophies, you will be sacked alongside Todd Bowley, and we're going to bring in a Saudi Arabian to help us. Peace out, stay true, stay real, Smoke. You know the only guy that has oil. Let's get out of there. Peace out.